First of all, I want to know how you guys met and hooked up.
Well, it was kind of like just like a cold call, I think, pretty much. Like Esjay had actually just, I guess, taken a chance, as she always does, and reached out to the Kittie band email, just being like, hey, you know, I'm a producer, songwriter. I have this band, this project that I'm working on, and I'd love for you to lend some vocals to it. You know, it was like, wow, this is really legit. It sounds fucking great. She sent me a demo. And I was like, yeah, I'm sold. All right, let's do it. And I sent her the vocal tracks, and she clearly worked her magic, and we made a song. It was really cool.
Aw, you're amazing. Thank you. Well, I'd actually just watched the Kittie documentary, and it absolutely blew my mind. And I was just like, this is a kindred spirit. It's like, she gets me. It's like we've had the same path. And it was such an inspiring, incredible, just such a triumph coming across that documentary. And so, yes, as I do, I literally just sent her an email, and I was like, oh my gosh, this would just be so incredible if we could collab. So we got lucky, I guess. Right time, right place.
What was it, Morgan, that, you know, made you want to work with her? Because like you said, you get a lot of different requests and stuff. Was it simply that the music was really good and it seemed just like a really cool project?
Yeah, but also I think it's like super important for women to be supporting other women as well. And, you know, there are, as Esjay I'm sure knows, there's not a lot of women who are, you know, doing the producing and also the songwriting, also in bands, you know, so I think that also was a little bit of a selling point for me as well.
So I want to talk about this beer, which I have as well. You guys just
yes,
song.
Crack one and crack it.
We felt that there wasn't anything out there that represented metalheads in terms of a non-alcoholic beer. You know, something that's maybe a little darker and misunderstood on the outside, but light and crisp and fizzy on the inside, just like how we are.
I was gonna say a little bit like us, yes, this is true.
Wow, so my first question, of course, is why did you guys decide to go non-alcoholic, which I can't think of any other metal band with a non-alcoholic beer, so that's really interesting.
I think that, you know, sobriety and people that are, you know, also like, you know, health and all that stuff, like, is sort of like an underrepresented thing. In metal, you know, I know a lot of people associate like going to a rock show or a heavy metal show with like drinking like copious amounts of beer or just getting wasted and like headbanging and stuff. And it's like, but there are a lot of people that don't partake. A lot of people that are sort of looking to just like live a healthier lifestyle in general, but still want to like be part of like the thing. That's sort of where a non-alcoholic beer comes into the picture, right? We're also old people problems, like, you know, drinking.
It's not as fun as it used to be.
No, exactly. And it's like sometimes you just want to have like the taste of a beer while you're sitting out, you know, on the patio or even at a show, whatever, and still be able to get up and like go to work the next day, you know?
I think it's important also for people to know, like, Morgan and I aren't sober people. You know, this is just, again, old people problems. But in our years of partying, obviously that's the intake has decreased. But, you know, the sober curious movement is so important. And it's just, you know, it's about balance. It really is. It's like, you know, we don't have to black out every day. We can, you know, we can really balance that out. And KittePIG is so cool. It's just like an all-day drinking festival beer. So for those people that are at festivals all day long and don't want to just be like drinking from 10 a.m., you know, it can have like a liquid death and have a KittePIG and then have a beer and then have another KittePIG. So, and it really is just like, it tastes like beer and it's delicious.
That's so cool. You know, in Morgan, you mentioned obviously like female run company and stuff like that is cool. And also how when you got started out with Kittie, how maybe it was like a lot at your age and you guys were a little naive and all that. So I'm wondering with both of you, actually, with both of your stories, starting out in the music world with what you were doing, did you really feel like an anomaly being a woman doing this? Because I remember when I first heard Kittie, it was introduced to me as like, wow, it's a band of all women, as if that was, you know, so novel.
I can't believe that they can play and scream.
You know, I didn't have that same experience being in a more kind of like pop rock band growing up. So I think that your situation is slightly different. But for sure, I think even now on the engineering producing side, you know, when people walk in and I'm sitting at the desk, they're like, yo, where's the engineer? I'm like, I am the engineer, you know? So I think people it kind of blows their mind a little bit. And it's really been nice to be in a space like with the Corn guys or Billy from the Pumpkins, you know, where they have such a great respect, I think, for women and women's ideas. So I think that's really great that the path is being paved for us.
Things I feel are certainly different now than they were like 25 years ago. And I think that is a big reason why when Kittie first came out and we were starting to sort of gain momentum, that there was a lot of focus on that. You know, the fact that we were women, also that we were very young, kind of played into things as well. It felt like we had a lot to prove, I guess.
Was there a point when you felt like Kittie was being respected for the great music you guys do, as opposed to, wow, it's like all women, kind of like that shock value? Was there a point when it was like, you know what, people get it now. Like, we're just people making music?
Yeah, it took 25 years.
Oh, geez, man.
Yesterday I felt that way.
Oh.
It has not been an easy ride, for sure. But like I really notice the change, like, after this new single has been released. Do you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Like,
yeah.
I saw all the great comments when it was out on social media and stuff. Not that, you know, some of the people are crazy and stuff, but
yeah, people were really horrible back at the dawn of the internet. You know, the message board and all of those things. You know, there was a lot, like the late 90s and the early 2000s is like the Wild West of the internet.
The world is like so much harder on us as aging women too, you know? It's not like men don't ever run into this, you know? It's just like you can be 70 years old and rocking on stage and they're like, oh my God, he's so amazing and gorgeous and sexy. And then like a woman is just like, oh, she's too old.
It's like, oh, you're 40 now? Oh,
totally.
You have no worth. Step aside. Yeah.
It's rough out there, man.
It can be, yeah, for sure. But fuck it.
Totally fuck it.
You know, it's a totally different world than when you guys started out, both in good and negative ways. So what advice would you have?
Don't ever let anyone tell you you can't or tell you no if you feel like it's the right thing to do. Because you may encounter other people, establishments, society, whoever telling you, no, you can't do that because, and you can and you should.
I love
That's it. Yeah, absolutely. It's like if you have a goal, if you have a passion, you know, and there are people, you know, standing in your way, and you feel like it's what you should be doing, then you absolutely should. I think that's super important. Like, I know in my life, we definitely, especially early on, had a lot of people saying things like, girls can't do this, you shouldn't be doing this.
Crazy.
You know, it's not how women act, or, you know, blah, blah, blah. And,
not how good girls behave.
yes, exactly.
I think you have to have, like, mad tenacity and super thick skin. Otherwise, there's just no surviving in the music industry. I think what's a great piece of advice to me, I used to say, like, don't ever... I think Amanda Palmer from the Dresden Dolls, she said, don't be afraid to ask. The worst somebody can say is no. And then somebody said to me, the worst somebody can say is yes, because then you have to be ready to like go and execute and be like, do way beyond and blow minds. And I was kind of like, whoa. So I think that is sort of how I live my life, you know, asking, just making sure that being prepared for something and just knowing that when you get that yes, be ready to run with it.
Well, you guys, it's been so fun hanging out. Congrats on the new beer. I can't wait to try it after it's chilled. And is there anything else you want to add and let people know about?
Go online and go check out www.KittiePIG.com. So it's KittiePIG.com. And go snag yourself a 4-pack because it's delish.